Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann, and it's just me. And I don't know how well this is going to go, but I'm just going to bitch about Trump and tariffs and other shit. And we'll do that. Okay? So here we go. By now you've already heard that Donald Trump was like, we need to bring manufacturing back to the United States. And I'm going to be the best president, the greatest president ever, who's going to get all the manufacturing back here. And then no one's going to make things overseas. And we're going to have things here. And then everybody will have jobs. And everything will somehow be cheaper, even though it won't. Even though we found that out in the past. That if we farm out the labor to manufacturing plants in other countries, that these companies are trying to maximize their profit. So what they're going to do is they're going to make things in China. And they're going to sit there, and they're not going to have stringent safety measures, and there's going to be paint on your children's toys that might have lead in it, and when little Billy puts a G.I. Joe in his mouth, and he starts chewing on it, he's going to develop oral cancer. Oopsie. Something like that. Like, we get it. You want to bring back jobs to America. You already tried it before with the coal jobs because God knows there's so many people with the history of studying black lung that they really want to get underground and start chipping away like the seven dwarves at rocks on the wall just for the chance to die young of some sort of breathing disorder or possibly be killed in a fucking cave-in of a mine like has happened to so many other people in so many other countries. So President Dickhole sits at his desk drinking a Diet Coke, probably eating 7 McDonald's cheeseburgers and thumbing his mushroom cap under the desk, thinking about maybe just accidentally tweeting the launch codes just to see what would happen. And he's like, I know what I need to do. We're going to have tariffs. We're going to make it expensive to make things there, and it'll help our economy. But in reality, anybody that's not retarded and understands economics at like a rudimentary level knows that if you have to pay more to get things into the country, the people that sell the items are not going to pass on the savings to the customer. They're going to jack up the fucking price.
You don't say.
So he says there's going to be tariffs, and then there's not tariffs, and then he's like, maybe I'm still going to do tariffs, and then he does the tariffs. And it's like super bad. Not on Russia, mind you. No, because he's too busy fucking FaceTiming Vladimir Putin, who has a very girly voice, but is probably sitting there in a chair shirtless, fucking pinching his own nipple while he blows kisses to Donald through the screen, thinking about how the next time that they meet up at their secret fucking Epstein Island love shack, that they're going to sit there and he's going to bend Donald over and he's just going to fucking jam all 6 inches of his Russian cock up the Donald's ass because it turns out that President Trump's a power bottom. I don't know why I feel that way, but I just get the impression that he wants to, I'm going to have all the control, you're going to fuck me, but I'm going to make sure that I'm the one that clenches to control your pleasure and mine and the direction and speed for the fucking. I'm in charge. So he puts these tariffs into effect and the market fucking tanks. And by the market, I mean the stock market and other world markets all start to bottom out and the price of stocks tumble and everybody's freaking the fuck out. And then a few days go by and he's like, I'm going to pause the tariffs. Everyone's begging me to pause them. I've done it. I've saved the day. You did it again, Donald, you tangerine bastard. You have saved everybody and the economy, even though, you know, eggs are still like fucking super expensive and all the other shit still costs more. And apparently iPhones are going to go up a third in price or who fucking knows. Nobody can even pre-order Nintendo Switch 2 because they don't even know how much it's going to cost and they don't want sticker shock. The point of the stock market is supposed to be so that publicly traded companies can have interests in their actual business purchased by anybody with the money, not just to help rich people stay rich. Now, yeah, there's a lot of very wealthy people that play the stock market or people that think they know what they're fucking doing, that took a few finance classes in college and then lose their life savings. But it's supposed to be so that average people can get involved, and it's not supposed to just be for the elites. So then he pauses tariffs, the market recovers, and stories start coming out like the one about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who when the stock market tanked, she bought some stocks all of a sudden. And then immediately, once the tariffs were paused, they amassed way more value and she had a bunch of extra money in her pocket. And she is a Trump constituent. So what I'm saying is, now that the Democrats have went, wait a minute, you motherfucker, is this market manipulation? And the SEC is like being begged to look into it for insider trading, which if you don't know is when people with knowledge of the markets manipulate the market to help their friends know when it's a good time to buy and a good time to sell. Insider trading. You're not actually letting the markets themselves dictate the price as much as you're creating the supply and demand with your extra super secret spy knowledge to help your friends get more money. So that's what's being alleged, is that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene were given a heads up. Hey, buy now, the market's tanking. And in a few days, once you guys have bought up all these stocks, then I'm going to pause the tariffs. The market will rebound. You guys will make a bunch of money. So again, here's Trump saying he wants to help the American people, but in reality, he's helping his rich friends get richer and his cronies amass fortunes. And I just got to say that I think it's bullshit that anybody in a government office is allowed to fucking purchase anything in the stock market while in office. Because at a certain point, you've got the inside track to get the information, especially if you're butt buddies with the guy who makes the decisions that ultimately lead to the market tanking, so you can buy low and then sell high.
You dick!
Think of it like this. Target is a company that sells all kinds of things, and they like money. They want to get the maximum amount of profit off every item they have. So now you've got people that work at Target that are privy to when things are going to go on clearance and what items are set for clearance. So they tell their friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends. And then everybody's like, oh, yeah, I know the right time to buy these items when they're bottoming out in price, and the company just wants to recoup the cost of purchasing them. So I get a discount, I win. And as a consumer, you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong because you're the little guy and fuck the company. But at the same time, if you fuck the company enough times, the company goes tits up, like a JCPenney or Sears or other stores that have closed like Party City due to Amazon, Walmart, and the retail apocalypse. But that's basically what Trump kind of did. And he's not going to come out and say it, because if he admitted that, that's a crime. Not that he seems to give a shit, because those, 34 felony indictments he doesn't give a fuck about, or they're being impeached twice. He's just like, it was a witch hunt. They were after me. I'm the greatest president ever. Use a Jewish space laser to etch my face on Mount Rushmore because I'm the greatest president ever, and just make sure that my hair looks great. So I ask you, if this man is constantly going to keep using executive order to bypass Congress and Senate and not have any checks and balances in play, at what point do we say, no, you can't be president anymore? You're fucking up too many things with reckless abandon, and you're circumventing the rules and the laws, like deporting these fucking supposed foreign gang members. Now, if you can prove they're foreign gang members who committed crimes for the benefit of a gang, why even deport them? Just fucking put a bullet in their head. But for the sake of humanity, you're going to send them on a plane to fucking El Salvador, to the mega prison, where they're basically going to be living in like squalor, in bunk beds, and all that shit. It's kind of like Auschwitz, but without all the daytime activities like sorting your dead loved one's clothes or counting the gold teeth in a jar to let the commandant in charge of the camp know how many of them you have for him to melt down to make a new ring. And what Trump did is he had these fuckers deported on military planes, and then basically they said they weren't going to take them, and then he strong-armed the government of these other countries to take them, and then a judge here said, hey, you can't do that, even though he invoked some fucking super out-of-date law declaring these people like terrorists, which was kind of crazy like a fox, honestly. I'll give him his props there. But the judge says, no, you can't do this. Turn the planes around. They don't turn the planes around. They drop the fuckers off, and they come back, and the judge is like, hey, you didn't fucking listen to me. What the fuck? You want to know why? Because Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck. He said he wants to be king, right? He wants to have total control of everything, and he wants to help his buddies be rich and his enemies be exiled or broke or dead. And he's basically trying to fucking emulate the Putin playbook where he silences the media and he takes away books and he makes it impossible to fucking circumvent any of his efforts, and anybody that speaks against him is punished. I mean, it's basically like being a dictator, but the Timu version. So then back to the tariffs and the market manipulation. If you do something to knowingly cause the stock market to crash and erase wealth and fuck over people's 401ks, knowing that a short time later you're going to undo all that, and in the meantime, people that know you are tipped off in ways that we can't prove because it just happened, know to then buy stocks low so that they can gain all that and instantly sell them, you're manipulating the market. If you have the power to make the market fluctuate with the swing of a pen, then you have too much fucking power. And if people that are close to you are taking advantage of that, well, that's insider trading. It's nonsense because the stock market is bullshit. It's speculative money, right? It's only worth as much as what people are willing to pay for it. Kind of like Bitcoin's fluctuating. And even though it's supposed to be completely independent of the dollar, it's rated in dollars. But if somebody says, fuck Bitcoin, it's a ripoff, then it tanks in value. It's happened before, and people lose wealth. So what he did was fuck over basically everyday working people with the tariffs, and it's going to create higher costs on a number of items in stores, toys, clothing, motor vehicles, things of that nature, essentials, food, and that he's also trying to sign things into legislation that make it harder for third-party companies to make generic equivalents of pharmaceuticals so Big Pharma can reap more fucking benefits and money. And it's just like, this guy only looks out for the rich. It's his fucking playbook. He wants the rich to get richer, and he looks down on the rest of us hardworking blue-collar plebs as just being fucking grunts that are supposed to keep the machine going so he and his buddies can continue to amass wealth that is ironic because they can't take it with them. And eventually someone's going to get so pissed off it's going to be like The Purge, but on rich people. So he's kind of flirting with disaster. But the guy is a stuck-up, white-collar, rich elitist. He's a shyster and a fucking snake oil salesman. And all these people still voted for him thinking he was going to make it better. Like, the guy is a fucking notoriously shady businessman and liar of all sorts. He's been busted so many times for bullshitting. Why did you think it was going to be any fucking different? And if you voted for him and him putting his little autistic butt buddy Elon into power with Doge, and it fucks you over by eliminating your job, and then you want to be like, oh, I have to write a letter to Trump. I voted for you. How can you do this? Because he doesn't think of these things, and he doesn't give a fuck about you, just like he doesn't give a fuck about everybody else whose 401ks were diminished in value because of the market fluctuation and the loss of value. Again, it's time to look at all of his deeds or misdeeds, and he's just doing whatever the fuck he does whenever he wants to do it, and he's making it so that you can't stop him. Something needs to be done. You've already elected him, so now it's time to rise up, and it's time for Congress to find their fucking balls and impeach him a third time. Go for the hat trick. See what fucking happens. Hold him accountable. I mean, you were dumb enough to fucking let him stock the Supreme Court with conservative justices so that they can make it that whatever he does while he's in power isn't criminal, so that he's got a lifetime get-out-of-jail-free card, and all those fucking indictments for all that shit that he did. But people are like, it's a witch hunt, it's all bullshit. It wasn't bullshit. He's a shiesty cunt who fucking misuses funds and then sells his face on gold coins to make money and just does whatever he can to stay on top. And I'm not saying that capitalism itself is a terrible system. It doesn't have the best name, but it's not a great system. But he's giving it the worst fucking reputation by being a rich guy, helping out other rich guys stay rich and not trying to spread the wealth out. And it's funny because like I've been listening to comedian Ben Bankus, who's Canadian, who's like, I like these conservative guys. Sounds like they want to like get people money. Yeah, they want to get people money. Rich people, not you, not me, not Joe Average. They're trying to help their fucking old Ivy League butt buddies and their lawyer buddies and their doctor buddies and their fucking hedge fund manager buddies and everybody that has a ton of money. They're trying to help them grow their wealth. And then they turn around and they buy campaigns and they make political contributions and they keep people that they like in charge who are going to help them get richer and cut back on environmental protections and fuck up the economy more and get rid of labor unions that protect fair wages and people from being treated like fucking serfs and servants. It's like all they do is, so this is the system that's relying upon itself to help the rich people continue to keep assholes that are bootlickers in power so they can keep holding the rest of us down and we all just get ground up in the gears. So the tariff thing, stupid fucking idea. I don't understand why you would try to start a trade war. And all these countries that he's trying to fucking lean into are just like, well, fuck you. We'll just increase our tariffs on you even more, like China. How did you think this was not going to blow up in your fucking face and just turn into a prick-waving contest? They're all trying to see who's got the biggest dick. And they're all standing there with their fucking micro-cocks trying to act like they're hot shit and puff their chests out and act like they don't fucking take Lipitor and have pacemakers and shit. They're trying to outdo each other, and it's just going to lead to like a global economic collapse eventually, because nobody can afford anything and people are going to go nuts and it's going to turn to riots. Like, if you don't think that all these people in these hands-off protests that were on a Saturday a few weeks ago in cities all over America where people are protesting Doge and protesting Trump and protesting tariffs and protesting all the shit he's doing, and now there's more planned fucking anti-Trump protests for the 19th, which is 2 days from when I'm recording this. If you don't see that as Americans being fed up, and it's just going to get worse the more he tries to make his buddies into these fucking oligarchs and tries to act like a dictator, then you got another thing coming. Because eventually, this country was born out of revolution. There can be another revolution. It's just going to be on American soil against American government, not on American soil against the invading Brits. They were probably like, well, I do say that it's bad news for you that you tried to escape from the Church of England, and you've come here and displaced all these natives that were here by giving them diseases and ripping them off. But we'll show you fuckers, you can't get away from the crown. We own you. Well, now it's Trump, who's got, like, an invisible crown. In his own head it's there, but it's literally not there to anybody that has eyes and isn't retarded. But he thinks he's a king now. He can do whatever the fuck he wants until people start standing up to him in positions of power, while the rest of us are standing here trying to fucking remain peaceful while speaking truth to power. It's going to devolve into violence. And then what? He's going to say, okay, police, you need to get out there and protect me. And military, get out there. I'm going to declare martial law. And then you can fucking kill all these people, and we'll scare them into doing what I need them to do, and I can be in power forever. We don't have to worry about the amendment that stops me from having a third term, because fuck you, I can do whatever I want. I hate to get all fucking paranoid and doomsay-y and catastrophize, but if you can't see the writing on the wall that something bigger is coming, then you might be as blind as Stevie Wonder. But even he, I think, could sense what the fuck was going on in this country right now. We got a man in power who's basically like a toddler in a fucking china shop running around knocking shit over and doesn't seem to care, because whenever he's done, he's not going to have to pay for it to deal with it. He could fucking drop dead tomorrow and he's caused so much chaos that it fucks over all of us, and he's just laughing from the grave. He doesn't have a long-term plan. He probably doesn't assume he's going to live through all of his fucking term. And if he says he is, then he's fucking lying, because he just had his fucking physical, and there's no way that motherfucker is 6'2" and 224 pounds. All right? He's like shorter than Biden, and I think Biden's 6'1", and 224 pounds? 224 pounds. The suits hide it well, but when he wears a golf shirt and tucks it into his dumbass pants, that motherfucker looks 13 months pregnant all the time. So, yeah, his health could fail, but then he's already done all this damage in the interim, and he doesn't have to answer for it, right? His kids are just probably going to fucking go live in Russia and get a free pass to fucking escape, and Melania's not going to be punished because she's going to be free now, and she'll probably go blow some guy that's in charge of another country to keep on top of the cream of the crap. She's going to find a way to stay in power to the point where she's not prosecuted for anything. She's a shiesty bitch. So again, more people should have thought of this when they voted, and we're all getting what you fucking MAGA-tards gifted us, and that is misery. So when he doesn't protect you, and he fucking cuts Medicare and Medicaid, and you can't fucking get any type of treatment from a doctor or afford pharmaceuticals, and it's too expensive to eat, and you're too frail to grow your own fucking vegetables, and you think that it's going to be paradise, but now it's slowly turning into hell, well, you get what you fucking deserve. Thanks for screwing the rest of us over in the process, dickholes. Interact with the show on Twitter at what do we call it? That is at what do we call it? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/what do we call it podcast show for the what do we call it podcast. I'm Jmann. And that's the end.